Hey, I'm running out to drop off a stack of letters and packages. Need anything shipped while I'm gone?
Save the gas. Stamps.com lets you print postage and schedule pickups right from your desk. Sync your contacts into the address book, get detailed accounting insights, and get notified the moment your certified mail is delivered.
All from my desk?
All from your desk.
Join the 4 million businesses using Stamps.com right now with code PODCAST and get your free welcome gift. Stamps.com, code PODCAST. Taxes and fees apply.
Hello and welcome to the Ridiculously Good VA Show with Tracy Daviero. If you are a virtual assistant or want to be one, this is the place to learn the tips and tricks you need to become a ridiculously good VA. I've been a part of the VA industry since 1998, and I'm excited to get to know you and help you build an amazing business. Let's go. Hello and welcome to another episode of the podcast that teaches you how to be a ridiculously good virtual assistant. Today's episode is a little about me and a little about you. We're talking about being authentically you in your business and therefore in your marketing so that people can get to know you. Last month, I had coffee with 2 people that I hadn't talked to in a very long time who had a huge impact on my business a lot of years ago. They were Paige, Stapleton, and Brian Stark, and they were my very first business coaches, and their brand when we worked together was authentic marketing. I learned a lot about it from then and since then, and it really has stuck with me ever since. I had coffee with them because they are getting back into the coaching scene after working with a high-level coach for a long time, and now they are going back out on their own, and it was really, really nice to catch up. And one of the things that was kind of interesting about it to me was to be able to talk about all the things that we've both done in the years since we've talked to each other last. And so I kind of encourage you to reach out to people that you used to be connected with and have that coffee, have that conversation, because when you start kind of talking about your achievements and the things that you've done or the things that you are doing, it gives you a really nice little shot in the arm. It really gives you a nice feeling because you are reminding yourself as well as informing them what you're doing and what a good job you're doing and how you have grown and how you have, gotten better at the things that you've done. So anyway, that's my little thing about me. And this is the marketing lesson that I relearned over coffee. Marketing is not about pretending to be someone that you're not. It's absolutely about being you. And that's where the authenticity comes into it. When I had coffee with these guys after so many years, it drove home a huge reminder for me that so many VAs are still making marketing a lot harder than it needs to be. Have you ever looked at someone else's social media and thought, wow, they're really good at this. I should be more like that. I should be doing more of this or that they're doing. Or maybe you see another virtual assistant posting consistently on Instagram. Their photos look great. Their captions are polished. They seem incredibly confident. They have a very clear niche, a very professional website, and somehow they always seem to know exactly what to say. And then you look at your own stuff and think, I should probably be more like them. I want to talk you out of that today, in a manner of speaking. Of course, if your stuff is not very good, we want it to get better, but not because you're modeling somebody else. One of the most powerful things that you can do when you're marketing your VA business, because it's a service business, is also one of the simplest. You just need to be yourself. I know that sounds very, very simple, especially when we're constantly being told that we need to build a personal brand or create a content strategy or find our niche, have a professional presence, create reels or post consistently. I know I tell you all these things as well, and somehow make it all look super polished and intentional. It doesn't sound like the stuff that we know how to do or that we do now regularly. So it seems like we have to move into being someone else. We're making a change, so I have to be this person instead of myself. But that is actually the exact opposite of what it should be. Your personality, your experiences, your opinions, even your sense of humor, your way of explaining things, the things you care about, and even the things that make you a little bit different than others can become some of your greatest marketing assets. Those things not only make up you, but they make up your VA business. Your business is different from every other VA's business, right? It is as unique as you are. So first, let's talk about why being yourself is so important in marketing. First of all, it's easier. I think I've probably got that in one of these points, but just, very casual comment, it is just easier to be yourself. But number one, we'll say trust and connection. People do business with those that they know, like, and trust. That's actually something that Brian and Paige taught me a long time ago, and it still sticks with me. When you show up authentically, you create a real connection with these people that you want to work with, the potential clients. They get a sense of who you are, what you stand for, and whether you're the right fit for them, which we talk about all the time, right? Number two is differentiation. The VA industry is always growing, despite what some people will tell you, and there are thousands of service providers just like you out there. Your skills and experience matter, but what really makes you stand out is just you. Your personality, your approach, your unique way of solving problems. These are things that nobody else can replicate, not in the way that you can. Number three, ease and consistency. When you do your marketing authentically, there's actually no pressure to keep up any kind of a facade. You're just being you. You don't have to remember to act a certain way or filter everything you do through some kind of professional persona, or use words or images or anything like that that don't feel authentic to you. It's just you being you, and that makes consistency so much easier. I really think that this is the number one reason, the number one thing that you should be focusing on. And number four is attracting the right clients. If you try to be somebody that you're not, you're probably going to attract clients who just don't align with your work style or your values or even your personality. If it doesn't feel like it's going to go well, it probably isn't. And it can lead to frustrating client relationships if you go through working with these people. So when you market yourself authentically, you're naturally drawing in people who are a good fit for you. And I think that's one of the things that I always try to hammer home with you, is that it's not about saying yes to anybody because you are capable of working with them or helping them. It's about being a good fit, finding those great clients, finding those people that you want to work with because you know that it's going to be a really great relationship. Being authentic is not about sharing every detail of your personal life online. It's not about turning your business into a reality show. It certainly doesn't mean that you have to become an influencer. None of that kind of stuff. It just means it's so much simpler. It just means showing up as the real you. And when you do that regularly, the right people are going to be able to recognize you. Because your clients are hiring a person. They're not hiring a logo, not hiring your website or your Canva templates or even a list of your services, which are the things that we think are the marketing pieces, right? They're hiring you. They have to work with you every day. Of course, they want someone who can perform the work, obviously. They need someone who knows how to manage their inbox, to create their social media content, to organize their calendar, to handle their bookkeeping or update their website, manage their systems, whatever the services are that you offer. And of course, your website or your Canva templates or the list of services that we talked about may factor into their decision because it answers some of the questions that they have before they start working with you. But what is it that makes the client choose you? It's how you make them feel. Do they trust you? Can they communicate easily with you? Does it feel easy or natural? Do they feel like you understand them when they say they need this or this is a priority to them? Do they feel like they could work with you? Those are the things that really matter. And your marketing needs to give them the opportunity to go, yeah, this feels like a good fit. The VA industry, like all industries, is full of people offering similar services. Social media management, admin, inbox management, bookkeeping, graphic design, website support, whatever. List goes on and on, right? Podcast management, project management. And maybe you even offer some of these services. Maybe you don't. The point is, there's absolutely nothing wrong with offering a service that other VAs offer. You don't have to invent a brand new service that nobody's ever heard of. But if your marketing sounds like everybody else's, it definitely becomes more difficult for potential clients to remember you, to think about you when they are ready to do their hiring. Imagine seeing 10 posts that all say something like, "Are you overwhelmed with your to-do list? I can help. As a virtual assistant, I provide professional administrative support so you can focus on growing your business." Now, let me pause for a minute because there's nothing technically wrong with that post. But after you've seen it 10 times, it all starts to blend together. Instead, imagine a VA who says, your inbox should not be the first thing you see every morning. If you're spending 45 minutes answering emails before you've even had your coffee, we need to talk. See the difference in that? It just feels different. You can hear an actual person in that post, right? Maybe you like her sense of humor. Maybe you relate to the coffee comment. Maybe you're exactly the business owner who spends 45 minutes every morning answering emails. There's something in there that will draw someone in, and suddenly you have their attention. That's what authenticity can do. It helps people remember you. Now, I know some of you are probably listening to this and thinking, Tracy, I'm not comfortable with putting myself out there. I get it. I understand that. You might be thinking that being authentic means constantly showing your face on video or talking about your personal life or sharing photos about your family or doing Instagram stories all day long or becoming some kind of social media personality. And it definitely does not. You can be authentic and private and introverted without ever jumping on TikTok to do some kind of a dance or a video. Your authenticity is going to show up in your writing, in your words, how you explain things, in the stories you tell, in the opinions that you have about how business owners should use social media or organize their spreadsheets, as the case may be. Maybe you're incredibly detail-oriented, or you always have 3 backup plans, or you really excel at helping overwhelmed business owners feel more organized, not just get more organized. Remember, we're talking about feelings here. Your brand is the thing that emerges from all of it. You don't have to create something because it's already there. It's you. It's naturally you. The other mistake that VAs make is trying to sound professional. This is actually a really big one, and I think I probably don't mention it enough. They write things like, I'm pleased to announce that I'm now offering administrative support services to entrepreneurs seeking to optimize their productivity and streamline their business operations. I'm tired of even reading that. I don't know who that person is. And more importantly, I don't know why I should care. I should also tell you that I've written more than my fair share of posts exactly like this. I've also read my fair share of them, but honestly, they suck, truly. What if instead you wrote, I love taking the things that are driving business owners crazy and making them simple. Now I hear you. Or if your business systems currently live partly in your head, partly in your inbox, and partly on sticky notes, you and I should work together. You're my kind of client. That shows your personality without, being you. And there's a huge difference. I hope you see it. Do you see it? I sure do. You're just talking about how you help clients, and that's the whole point. And those are still professional. So when you're writing your content, ask yourself, would I actually say these words out loud? If this person was standing right in front of me, would I say these words? And read back those couple of examples that I gave you. You wouldn't say that. If I was standing right in front of you, you wouldn't say, I'm pleased to announce that I'm offering, administrative support. You wouldn't do that. And this is what we want to be able to bring forward, right? If the answer is no, that you would not read that or say those words, then it doesn't belong in your marketing either. You need to rewrite it. If you would never use the phrase optimize your productivity when talking to a client, don't use it in your marketing just because you think it sounds professional. Is it kind of landing here? I hope it's landing for you. You need to talk like yourself and you need to be yourself. So now that we know why authenticity is so important and we've talked a little bit about how that looks, let's talk about how to put it into practice. You want to define your brand voice. Your brand voice is the way that you communicate in your business. Are you casual and friendly? Are you more formal and polished? Do you have a sense of humor, or are you kind of more no nonsense, just get the job done? The key is to make your brand voice reflect your personality, not what you think it should be, but what it actually is. If you're naturally warm and chatty, don't force yourself into stiff kind of corporate speak. Don't force yourself to use professional words or big words or industry jargon. But if you love a good GIF or a meme, use them in your content. I remember looking back at my blog a long time ago and I said, geez, I'm not getting a whole lot of, work with my, I'm not getting a lot of views. I'm not getting a lot of comments, that kind of thing on my blog. And a girlfriend of mine was a social media expert, marketing expert, and she looked at it and she says, oh my gosh, look at your headlines. They're or your subject lines or your titles. I guess they were at the time. I don't know I don't even know what all this stuff is called. But look at your titles. They read like headlines in a newspaper. And they did. They absolutely did. And then what I was writing inside it was not cohesive. And it just seemed very very, I don't know, sticky and icky and that kind of thing. And as soon as I started writing, go and look at my blog now. If you look at my blog now, well, it's mostly podcast scripts, which is fine. But if you go and look at it, you'll see I start sentences with the word and I talk and I say, ugh, ig, ugh. I talk the way that I talk in my content, just the way that I'm talking here. And that's my brand voice, right? I used to be so worried all the time that my on-camera look with no fancy hair or makeup I just didn't have time to do all that kind of thing. So I made an excuse to not do video all the time. But once I tried just doing it, just sitting down and going, okay, here's what I get. And I think it was after watching a business coach who wore a baseball cap all the time. And I thought I could wear a baseball cap. That's fine. That would take care of my hair situation. But when you stop worrying about how you look and just focus on the message that you're trying to get across, I think that that's what really helps. I know it really helped me. I just did it. And video became one of the main ways that I created content until this podcast, until I went strictly to audio. But it was just authentic of me to do a Facebook Live, just to show up from my living room or my office or my back deck and talk and teach. And you need to find your authentic. It doesn't need to be video. It doesn't need to be anything, but it needs to be you. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. Next, I want you to share your story. People really connect with stories. Your potential clients want to know who you are, how you got started, and why you do what you do. It's meaningful to them when you offer a service as your commodity, right? Your piece of how you work with your clients. And sharing your journey, both the wins and the challenges, makes you relatable and builds trust. You don't have to share every personal detail of your life. Absolutely not. I do share more than I used to, but I don't do TikToks while walking the dog or doing my meal prep in my kitchen. That doesn't feel authentic to me. That feels kind of phony and fake and, great for the people who do it. But for me, that just doesn't feel like that's where I want to be, talking about what it is that I want to do. I just want to do it on this podcast, or I want to do it on Facebook and videos or YouTube and that kind of thing. And so you can do the same thing. You do what feels comfortable for you. And your stories can be all business based, how you've helped clients or others. Especially, don't forget your volunteer work. When you keep things focused on the clients and the stuff that you did that made people do better or have a good experience, the messaging is going to land where you want it to. Next, I do want to say show up on video or audio. Written content is great, but nothing builds trust faster than hearing your voice, or seeing your face. Again, you don't have to do it, but if it's something that you think that you might do, like I never thought I would do it, and then I all of a sudden just started doing it, and I found it so much easier than writing, you might be able to look at it. So whether it's an Instagram story or a LinkedIn video, a little podcast like this, putting yourself out there helps people feel like they already know you before they even reach out. If the idea of a video makes you nervous, start small. It's super easy to do. A little Instagram reel or something. Just talk a few words, 30 seconds. It's really not that much. And I will always tell you it's the quickest way to create content, because that's how I create my content now. I know it's a tough one for a lot of UVAs. I know that a lot of us are introverts. I'm still an introvert, guys. But you're just talking to one person on the video, and they aren't even there with you. So it's not about doing a Facebook Live and waiting for 10 people to show up and that kind of thing. You're just getting on camera and saying, hey, this is how I helped somebody today, and it was really awesome. If you need help, give me a shout. The next thing you want to do is speak directly to your ideal client. And I think that's really, this is a really big challenge for VAs, I think, because we feel like we need to appeal to everyone because we're not sure who's going to see what we're putting out there, right? But if you focus on speaking directly to your ideal client, the person that you know about their struggles, their goals, and the way they like to be communicated with and the things that they need help with, you're going to just do a better job at it. When you talk to just one person or one target, the message is going to resonate better. And when you write something, if you imagine you're talking to just one perfect fit client, it's going to help you sound more natural and reliable. And remember that you're trying to think about, if this person were standing right in front of me, what would I say to them? And so that piece of it, being authentic and not using really corporate-y kind of speak and that kind of thing. Think about that when you're writing your content too. If somebody was sitting right in front of me, what would I say to them to tell them about this particular service that I offer or how I help this particular client? Those are the words that you want to use in your marketing. We talk about, obviously, targets a lot in this podcast. It's something that I feel very strongly about, something that I teach you guys about all the time because it works. It works to get really, really focused and concise about who you can help because it helps you figure out the specific ways that you can help them. There's lots of podcast episodes on that kind of thing. I'm not going to go into that today. And then the last thing is be honest about what you offer and what you don't. One mistake VAs often make is trying to be everything to everyone, right? That might be you. They take on work they don't love, they say yes to projects they don't get excited about, and eventually they'll stretch themselves too thin. Being authentic means owning your strengths and setting clear boundaries, saying yes to what you want and no to what you don't want. If you don't enjoy bookkeeping, don't offer it just because you think you should or because you're in a conversation with someone who says they need it. If you love working with coaches but don't enjoy working with real estate agents, focus your marketing on the right audience. Talk specifically to the business coaches or whatever kind of coach you want to work with. If you haven't narrowed down your target yet and you're having trouble finding clients, it's almost certain that the two are related, right? No target, no clients. When I got really clear on my target with Brian and Paige, everything changed. They totally helped me do that. I couldn't do it myself because I couldn't see it. And if you can't see it, let me know. I can absolutely help you. As you know, it's the only reason I'm here at all, to help you become a ridiculously good virtual assistant. So the next time you sit down to create a marketing post and you find yourself trying to sound like someone else or model someone else, stop. I want you to take a breath. I want you to close the Instagram tab or the Facebook tab, whatever it is, and ask yourself, what would I say if I were simply having a conversation with my ideal client? What if they were sitting right here with me? Write that down and then say that. Because there's already another VA doing what everybody else is doing. There's already another polished generic marketing message floating around there, right? When the market doesn't need is another version of somebody else. It needs you. And that just might be your greatest marketing advantage. So if you take nothing else away from today's episode, let it be this. Your authenticity is not something you have to add to your marketing. It's something that you already have. Your job is to simply stop hiding it. What do you think of that? Kind of cool, huh? So I have some practical next steps for you. I want to wrap up with a few actionable steps you can take away today to bring more authenticity into your marketing. We've already done this a few times in, the 15-minute marketing. There's lots of different places, but here I'm going to say it again. There's 5 little steps. Review your website and your social media. Does your brand voice sound like you, or are you trying to fit in an industry mold? I don't know if you can look back at my super oldest blog posts and see the difference in how I write now, compared to how I wrote then. I don't think I fixed any of the really old ones. I think I just changed the way I was doing things. But look at what you're doing and see, does it look like conversations with people or does it look like marketing speak, right? Write a social media post that shares part of your journey, maybe some kind of a challenge you overcame or why you love what you do. Those should be really, really easy because they are literally you. Record a short video introducing yourself. This one I would love to see. If you see it, if you do it and you post it someplace, please let me know. You just post it on the platform of your choice, wherever that is. And then evaluate your current clients. Are they the right fit? Because now we start thinking about it. Are these the people that I want to be able to move forward with? And if not, how can you adjust your marketing to attract the kinds of clients that you do want to be working with? And give yourself permission to just show up as you are. No hair, no makeup. I say no hair, no fancy hairstyle, I guess. But you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be you. You're perfect enough, right? I'm super grateful that I did take the time to have that coffee with Brian and Paige last month. Sometimes the biggest breakthroughs don't come from learning something completely new. They come from being reminded of something that we learned a long time ago or that we have known all along, and we just don't think of it as new knowledge anymore. So marketing shouldn't feel fake. It doesn't have to feel fake. It doesn't even have to feel hard. It definitely doesn't have to feel salesy. And it doesn't have to make you feel uncomfortable. The most powerful marketing you're ever going to create is just letting people know the real you. Hey, here's me. This is what I do. These are the people I help. If you need help, get in touch with me. Honestly, it works. It's authentic. It's you. So let's circle back to today's quote. The key to success is to find a way to stand out, to be the one that people remember. It's not about posting. It's not about marketing. It's not about being noticed and remembered. When you change your goal to that, everything works better. If you need help with your marketing, your messaging, or getting clients, be sure to reach out to connect with me wherever you are online. You can find where to connect with me at yourvamentor.com/links. That's all I've got for you this week. I'll see you next time.
Tired of your car insurance rate going up, even with a clean driving record? You're not alone. That's why there's Jerry, your proactive insurance assistant. Jerry compares rates side by side from over 50 top insurers and helps you switch with ease. Jerry even tracks market rates and alerts you when it's best to shop. No spam calls, no hidden fees. Drivers who save with Jerry could save over $1,300 a year. Switch with confidence. Download the Jerry app or visit jerry.ai/Libsyn today. That's jerry.ai/LIBSYN.